Hi friends, this is a video about how I took this beautiful turquoise and turned it into cabochons, and I wanted to show you the process. So it started with these some slabs, some nuggets that I bought online, and first I'm going to back them with some epoxy to make them more sturdy. So when I grind them on the polishing wheel, they don't crumble on me. But I'm checking them out and figuring out which ones need to be cut and how I'm going to back them. So it looks like some nice stuff. Some of the stuff that I have to cut, I'm going to soak. So I'm putting it in this jar overnight. It tends to crumble less when you cut it on the saw if it's already been soaking in water overnight. So getting my saw ready now. I'm going to cut these nuggets up, try to get some more out of the material, get some flat backs to put my dopping sticks on, and being considerate, not wanting to waste material. It's cutting pretty well, not getting a lot of crumbling. I might have had one piece crumble, but it broke into two, and I figure I'll save those pieces in case I want to do some intarsia or something. So it's going pretty well, and as soon as I get these cut, I'm going to let them dry off completely, and I'm going to back them. And then after I back them, I'll put the dopping sticks on. Okay, everything is ready to be backed. I've got my JB Weld, kind of the basic one. I'll put something up on the screen so you can see what brand, which one it is. And I'm mixing my black and my white. I use a little plastic container. I find it's really convenient. You can throw the whole thing away when you're done, and you can seal it up so it's not sitting there open waiting to dry. And it just works really well. So I've got that in there. I'm kind of trying to determine how much I'm going to need. I don't want to waste any. I'm being careful not to contaminate the tubes either. I don't want to get any of the black on the white because it will get, I don't want it to wreck the rest, what's left in the tube. So here I go. I'm stirring it up. Here I go. Wow, look at me go. And I'm stirring, and I'm stirring, and stirring carefully enough that I'm sure everything is mixed. And I'm selecting which stone I'm going to do first. And I will carefully begin to spread the mixture. Well, I decided I didn't have enough, apparently. It just didn't look like it was going to be enough. So I'm adding more. And I got to stir that up. This stuff is fairly inexpensive. I think it was $7 for the 2 tubes. All right, here I go. Yep. Watch me stir. Wow. Don't eat this stuff. It's not good. Oh, by the way, wear a mask, or I ended up going over and turning on a fume extractor. You don't want to breathe this in. I mean, it didn't smell that bad, but I'm sure it's not good for you. Okay, so I'm spreading it on the back of the stone. I've got a silicone mat underneath, and I just press it gently into the silicone mat. It's going to come off there really easily, and you can reuse the mat over and over again. And you can buy those on Amazon really inexpensively. They're good for so many things, so many projects. And so I'm going to go through kind of every single stone here. It's like icing a cupcake. And once you ice it, you smush it down onto the silicone, and you give it a full 12 hours to dry. And then after they're completely dry, you can put the dopping sticks on. So I'm working my way through this tray. It's kind of fun, you just kind of get into the zone. And eventually I get through to the end. So this is the part where I'm going to dop my turquoise that I've got backed with the epoxy, and um, I'm using these dopping sticks that are like off of tiny foam. You can pull them off of foam brushes that you get at Walmart in the craft section. I'll show a picture of it at the end of this video and you can see what I bought. But I liked it because they came pre-cut in various sizes, because the stones are all varied sizes. So some bigger stones needed a wider diameter stick and some needed a really narrow stick. And it's not shown on camera, but when I'm pressing on the dopping wax to increase the surface area of it, I've wet my finger in cold water. Don't ever touch dopping wax without dipping your finger in water first. But it helps create a better contact with the stone if you spread it out and squeeze it up the stick just a little bit with your hands wet from water. And anyway, I'm just chugging along, making a few mistakes. Used the wrong end of the dopping stick, the one that still had some foam residue on it, and thought, no, that's not going to be secure once I'm grinding it on the wheels, so on the cabbing wheels. So I think I've gotten to the end here, and got maybe one more stone to do. They're not level, a lot of them at the bottom, so I'm having to position them carefully so that the dopping sticks dry perpendicular to the stone. So I'm going to leave these here and let them cool down for about 30. Here's a quick look at the sticks I was talking about from Walmart. They look like this. They're in the craft section. They called these foam spouncers, but they're also foam brushes that look like this too. Okay, we're dopped and ready to go. Gonna get my cabbing machine ready. Make sure there's enough water over the pump. And we're good to go. So begins the cabbing portion. And it's pretty exciting. I'm finally here. I'm gonna make these stones come out into their full beauty. I'm starting by getting my outline and starting on the second wheel, skipping the 80. It's just a soft stone and I don't want to grind too much away. So starting on the second diamond wheel and, letting the stone kind of tell me where it wants to go, because I'm going to go for organic shapes that maximize the material. I don't want to just grind away all the material. So I'm taking my time and making some, discriminating choices. Enjoying the process, making sure that I have on all my personal protective gear. Got on a mask and my goggles. I have to wear glasses under my goggles. Sometimes it gets kind of steamy and I can't see what I'm doing, but I kind of figure it out somehow. And so then I'm going on. I put a bevel around the top of the stone and I'm starting to kind of round it out a bit. And worked on that resin wheel, got some of the lumps and bumps out. Now I'm going on to some of my fine polishing wheels. And it was just so satisfying to see the stone come alive and to see all these beautiful details. I think this stone had really beautiful translucent dark blue chip in it. It was some kind of gemstone. I really don't know what it was. Maybe just, I don't even want to hazard to guess. But I'm putting the final polish on this. And after I do that, I'm going to dry it off really thoroughly and pop it in the freezer. Because once it's cold, it's very easy to break the dopping stick off. So, there we go. So here's the finished product. I have to be honest, it wasn't easy to get these off of the dopping sticks. So I had to, typically it is, but because I had to grind down so much of the extra stone and they were covered completely with the wax, there wasn't a surface that didn't have wax on it to pull the stone off easily. So eventually I worked them off. I used a towel to hold the stone and applied a decent amount of pressure, and it stood up to that. And then the additional wax that was on the back, I scraped off with a blade, with a, you know, a little knife with a razor blade on it, carefully. But this is what I ended up with, and I'm going to be making another video where I choose which stone I'm going to work with, and I set it in silver. So I might make a ring, I might make a bracelet, or I might make both, and then I'll publish that also for you to watch. But I had fun, and I hope you learned something. If you have any comments or questions, feel free to leave them, and I'll try to respond. And thank you again for watching. All right, have a good night.